If we ran Nintendo.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 147 of If We Ran Nintendo. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by the greatest co-host in all the land, Mr. Sean Capri.
Bobby, hey, my buddy. How are you, my friend?
I missed you last week.
I know.
Although I really didn't miss you, but I missed you. But I didn't miss you. You know what I mean?
I don't know how to feel about this right now. I feel like you almost made me feel special, and now I'm just kind of whatever.
Stop. It's not like we didn't talk.
That's true.
You know
We
what I
talk
mean?
a lot.
But-
We always talk.
I know. So, but we didn't record last week.
No.
And
You wanna talk about that?
No, not really.
Yeah,
So
I
the
thought
only
so.
thing we'll
That's
say
what
is we
I thought.
have some. You know, I have some things I'm working on.
I was really
and-
hurt. You're like, hey, man. I was like, Bobby, I can't wait to record. Like, it's Friday. I love recording with you on Fridays. Holy crap, man. And then you're like, Sean, I'm sorry. Actually, you didn't even say I'm sorry. Just like, look, here's the way it is. You're just going to have to deal with it.
I got some stuff.
I got some
some
stuff.
stuff going on. This week's probably going to be the same. For those, I won't be streaming this week again, just because I'm trying to finish up some stuff. And but once that's done, full steam ahead.
All right, well, I wish you'd tell me what it was.
Don't call it a comeback. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, snap. What?
So let's kick
back
this episode
already.
off like we do each and every episode with our
Geek outs.
shout-outs.
Oh, geek outs, Bobby. I got 0 amiibos. Oh, it was so amazing. Everybody, and amazing. Everybody's got their amiibos out there. I got nothing.
Don't get me started on the amiibo thing.
Should we get people riled up about it? I feel like people were like, I think TJ Santula was talking about it. He's like, I don't think that the fervor is there. I'm pretty sure he was tweeting out earlier. And I'm like, well, let's get it going, baby. Let's get it. Like, you know what? There are haves and have-nots. And right now I'm a have-not. And I'm real pissed about it.
Daisy's gonna be hard to get.
I know, man.
Daisy's gonna be really hard to get.
Oh,
I went to Best Buy after work. Young Link and Ken were both there.
Yep.
Plenty of them. No Daisies. I'm pissed at Amazon because, you know, I pay for this service called Prime, right?
Yep.
And they pull $12 a month out of my checking account, and ultimately what it's supposed to give me is 2-day shipping.
Yeah.
Now, bad enough that this thing launched today, and it still has not shipped. And they're telling me I'm not going to get it till Tuesday.
You know what though, man? Like like for this, okay, I understand you're upset. And usually, you know me, I go on these rants all the time. For games, I would be right with you, pissed. I don't like. It's okay. It's still, you got yours locked down. It's gonna be okay.
That's not the point, Sean.
It's gonna be
I'm
okay.
not mad that I don't have it right now.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. What
Sure.
I'm upset about is it's taking 4 days for something that I pay to get here 2 days.
I see what you mean.
That's my problem. I don't
That's
care
fair.
that I don't have it on launch day. I'm more upset that it hasn't shipped yet, and yet they're telling me it's not going to be here till Tuesday. And it's
Can't
like, well,
argue
why
with
am
that.
I paying you? Why am I paying you $12 a month if the only thing that I pay you the $12 for, because I don't care about the music, I don't care about the television,
You get your
I don't
Twitch Prime.
care about Twitch. I don't care about that either.
Give it to me then.
Listen,
Twitch.tv/Sean Capri.
Sean, I donate money all over the place as
I
it
know you
is
do.
on Twitch, so it doesn't matter to me. You give me $5, I could care less. Plus, little side note, it's really not my Twitch Prime that it's hooked up to. That's something that I left.
Where is it hooked up to?
Well, you know, I was married once, Sean.
Oh no. Oh,
So
you gotta
anyway, I liked the account. It never got unlinked. I don't know what to tell you, man. Hey, man, this is what it
it's
is.
time to change up your whole Amazon situation altogether.
But I'm gonna cancel it because I'm annoyed with it.
Oh, that's too bad, man. I love Amazon Prime, man. Like, especially, here's the other thing that you probably don't even realize that you're getting is like all those little things that you buy. Normally, it's like you need to spend at least $35 for you to get free shipping. Amazon Prime, that's not a thing, man. You can buy all those little things.
Sean, I don't care. If
I know, but you
the
might.
point is why I
regret it.
buy Amazon Prime is
Don't
for
regret
2-day
it.
shipping.
I understand.
If I can't get what the service I'm buying, I don't want it. The rest of it is just
How did your state vote in the election? Did you guys vote for Trump or did you guys vote for?
my state always votes. Mine's a blue state. We always vote for.
That's why.
Democrats.
I don't know. I would have said that no matter what you said.
I don't know what that had to do
I
with
don't know what
anything,
that
but
means.
okay. Anyway,
Trump hates the blue states, maybe. I don't know, man.
but I did get Labo VR today.
You did.
Yeah, so I'm happy about that. Yeah,
Mm.
the minute they announced Breath of the Wild and Odyssey.
Hang on a second. Can somebody smash cut Rybo? Can somebody smash cut to Bobby saying, "I don't want to put a screen this close in front of my face until they do the research"?
No.
Here it comes.
I just want to try it. I know for a fact that this is not for me. That I don't want to leave this thing, but I'm very curious about how it all works and what it all is. I don't want to, but part of me thinks that that glass thing in front of your face is protecting your eyes to some degree. Because why else would they have that there? There's no reason to really have that lens there. But I did watch some stuff today, some people talking about it, and man, they're pretty blown away by what it's doing. They're a little upset. I was watching Nintendo Life. They're a little upset about the blaster one, that there's not more levels, that it's not a bigger game, and they think that they wish that Nintendo would push harder on that because they said that's probably the best experience in the entire thing. So we'll see.
I mean, I was pretty bullish on this thing when it first started out, man. I thought Labo was going to be like their $1 billion next idea. I thought it was going to be enormous, but it seems to be just kind of like tricking along. It's probably doing just as well as a piece of cardboard. Maybe
I'll tell you right now,
better than really.
Like I said, I went to Best Buy, sold out of Labo VR.
That's crazy, dude.
And then, who was I talking to? Someone else went, and they were sold out as well at their Best Buy. So I think it's going to do pretty damn good. There was people that I had saw on the internet who, when they announced, same thing, when they announced Odyssey and they went out and they pre-ordered it right away.
Yeah.
I think this thing's going to do better than what
people...
Well,
man, I've been saying it the whole time. Like, you got to attach Mario or Link to this VR stuff, and then you're banging. And then I think it's more to do with that than the fact that it's Labo.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's all it is.
I tried out. I've never even seen Labo. I've never touched it before, but we were at the West Edmonton Mall. It's the biggest mall in the whole planet. Maybe Mall of America's bigger. I'm not entirely sure. So we're there with Lincoln, and he sees all the Mario, and he goes crazy. And the guy working there was amazing. He was a professional. This is a quick shout out. Amazing Nintendo staffer, right? Like, he sees the magic of Nintendo and he loves and he recognizes the joy in kids. So he gives Lincoln a Yoshi little sticker sheet, and then Lincoln walks around and he discovers the piano cardboard Labo thing. And this is the first time I've seen it on video and everything. And Lincoln's playing it, and then I'm playing, and I'm like, this thing is magic, dude. I'd never seen how responsible it was.
Go on YouTube and search.
I know I've seen what Brian Altano had done some stuff, and people have done some pretty crazy like EDM music, just crazy stuff. But it wasn't necessarily like what's capable, because like I'll never be able to do that. For me, it was just like you push the button and it worked, and you push multiple keys, I guess, and it just works, and it feels decent. Like, I was very surprised by it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I have the Labo kits 1 and 3. I don't care for the robot. I could care less. And now I have the VR one. So I have 3 out of the 4 Labo kits now. And I just kind of thought, like, it'd be kind of cool to put a couple of them together. Like, I'd like to put the piano together and maybe the house and put them on the shelf behind me. Definitely the VR I want to put behind me. Because when I get my goal, I've said this before, I think on Nintendo PlayStation, but when I get my goal this year is to get a Virtual Boy. Yeah. So I'll have both of those together on the shelf. Like, that's my game plan this year.
You have no problem getting one of those. I'm sure Nick Militia will get you in touch with
somebody.
somebody.
Dude, he's a scrub. I've been trying to get him to get me something.
Nick. This guy takes a vacation, and all of a sudden he thinks he just doesn't have to work anymore.
I know, he's
holy crap! I love that guy.
A loser.
He gives great hugs.
He
does, man.
Yeah,
he gives very nice hugs.
No, I love Nick. I'm just kidding.
Come on, man. Were we doing shout-outs? I got a couple.
So I have 2. The first one has to go to Very Carrie. Today is her birthday. By the time you guys are listening to it, her birthday is past. But as we're recording this, today is her birthday. I just want to give her a very special birthday wish. She is pretty spectacular when it comes to when I'm streaming and helping out, and anytime I'm doing giveaways and I ask her to help me give stuff away and be involved, she's right in there.
No kidding,
she's helping out. Like, she's just awesome, dude. She's pretty amazing. So thank you, Very Carrie, and happy birthday. I hope you had a very special birthday.
Also, Brandon Myers, happy birthday.
Okay. Today?
No, like earlier this week.
Oh, okay.
Earlier this week, he was.
I don't remember seeing something today.
No, it wasn't today. It was earlier this week.
By the way, he had my back today.
Hey, man, he's got your back every day. That's the whole point.
No. This one was a good one. This was big time. That troll I showed you, I blocked on Twitter. he was really taking some personal shots at me, like really bad. And Brendan DMs me privately, like, dude, just give me permission because I want to tear this guy apart on Twitter. And I was like, nah, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. And I just blocked him, and that was it. Done. I was like, I'm going to block him. It ain't no big deal. He's being a troll. He's just trying to get some attention. It is what it is.
My God, dude.
What's your you have a shout out?
I got another shout out.
Yeah.
Janet Garcia, previously on We the Gamercast. Okay, that's how first she was on We the Gamercast. Then
of course
she might have had a Patreon. She might have been doing some freelance and stuff. She quit teaching to do freelance. She quit teaching to get into the video game thing. She set a goal. She worked her tail off. She got hired by IGN to be on their WikiLeaks team. And I don't know if you know this, Bobby, but earlier this week, there's a picture of her sitting next to pure IGN on the freaking Nintendo voice chat podcast on IGN. Are you kidding me right now? I am so bloody impressed. It's crazy, man.
I saw the picture, and I so badly wanted to say something.
What do you mean?
I was going to say, like, dude, could you guys move into a smaller podcast room ever?
Right? I know.
Like, it looked like they were in my closet.
I know. It's San Francisco, dude. Like, they don't have a lot of space over there.
They used to have a gigantic studio, and you're telling me they can't even carve out a little place someplace to actually record? It's smaller. It looks like it's smaller than the original podcast room. But I think they're actually back in the original podcast room, but they moved the table or something. I was like, oh my God, when I saw that picture today. But congratulations.
You know what, though? I loved it. I loved seeing that, not only that she was there, obviously, but I liked that part, man. I feel like the video did, like, in a way, take away from it. Like, you and I talk a lot about how when we used to be live, like, it just changes things, man. It, like, when I tune into a podcast, like, I don't want them to ever be like, well, you know, you can't see this, but here's the stuff that's happening on screen right now. I hate that stuff. I like it.
But they didn't have to do the whole production value that they did. Think about it, dude. When Greg and Colin were there and they were doing Beyond, it was just them in a room.
I know.
Just recording.
I know.
And I loved watching.
So did I.
So
well, I love the podcast.
They don't have to go as crazy as they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe we'll be back one day.
Yeah.
Just like we do this, man. This is perfect.
It's pretty bad that we're the #1 Nintendo video podcast in all the land. It's just crazy, man. Just crazy.
We're the #1 podcast where two guys
don't at me, Nintendo dads. Don't at me, because I'm just going to tell you right now.
Here's my next shout out. Here's my next shout out. Okay, so speaking of that, everybody's getting on my case a little bit for causing wreckage left, right, and center. I'm listening to the Backlog Busters this week or a month or however often they do it. And they're like, oh yeah, like Bobby and Sean, and they're saying like nice things. They're like, Sean's really nice. You know, like he's kind of an asshole on podcasts, but like in real life he's really nice. And I'm like, what?
At least they recognize it's you, not me. That's what I like.
Man, you know what, man? I gotta quit all this crap.
You're the one that started it, man.
What did I do, Bobby?
You started getting nasty with everybody, man.
I know, but that's the thing.
People to fight and stuff.
People, okay, but it's not like I'm doing anything like way worse than really anybody else out there. And I get called out like this. You go. I need to keep a list, as my dad would say. Like, we got to remember this, Bobby. I got to keep track of all the things that you do, all the things that it's probably too late now because I feel like you've changed.
I don't have friends and go after them.
You do. You get out of here. You do it on a daily basis. You're hot trash in the summer.
Different. That's different.
That's what I'm talking about.
No. That's totally different, man. They know that I'm just teasing. That it's what I do. You are just a nasty human being, man. You just go after them.
Oh, see, this is the problem. This is at the heart of my anxiety and self-doubt.
This is what you are. This is the person. It all started when that one podcast a couple of years ago when you told me to go F myself. And you'll never live it down. The true Sean is
I sometimes feel like I'm treated very unfairly, and I think this is one of those examples.
For you. Would you stop?
Well, must be nice to just be able to call everybody out on their garbage and the things that you don't agree with and the blah blah blah. I do something as a clear joke. Yeah. You do it. Oh, really?
I don't challenge them to fight. You're over here challenging people to fight.
Who would I fight?
I don't know, because you can't fight, but that's not the point.
I know.
It'd be like trying to fight them like hockey style, trying to pull their shirts over their heads.
That's effective, man. Have you ever tried to throw a punch while they're grabbing your jersey?
Not really.
Me neither. No.
I got one more shout out, and I want to throw that at Mr. Kevin Austin of PSVG.
Oh, very nice.
I love this dude, man.
So do I.
For such a long time, I thought that he hated me, and then we just kind of.
Was it because you guys were throwing jabs at each other, like you're just joking around and stuff, but then you thought you'd hate each other?
It was always like, man, does he really not like me? Like, this is weird, And but dude, them guys.
Donnie, on the other hand, I think Donnie hates us.
No, Donnie's been very nice to me this week.
I think he hates us.
He made some very nice comments towards me.
He makes some good comments to all my co-hosts.
Well, you're just a tool bag. Again, you're calling people out to fight, and this is what happens, Sean.
I love Donnie. I'm sitting there talking about on this show saying that the Nintendo Shack is the #1 Nintendo podcast on the internet.
That's the first mistake.
Couldn't even get on that show. They're down 2 hosts that couldn't even get on that show.
Even he knows you're lying. So there you go. What do you want?
That is bogus. That's the other thing. People think I'm so nice. People think it's impossible for me to be actually that nice. I really mean it.
That's the problem.
Well, guess what? Everybody's teamed up on Caro this week. I would have been there to back her up. Sorry, Caro.
Stop it. I jumped into the live show over there this week.
It's fun. I often try to. It's right around Lincoln's lap time. Lincoln's nap time. Or sleep time.
I didn't get into the Nintendo Dads this week. The couple weeks, we got to say this. A couple weeks ago, we jumped in.
Oh my gosh!
When we recorded on Thursday, on a Thursday night, and we got done recording, and then Sean and I were just goofing off on YouTube, and then we realized that the Nintendo Dads were live, and we're like, okay, let's jump in here. So we jump into the chat, and we just like kind of take the chat over real quick. Like immediately, just talking nonsense, and then all of a sudden, like
you can see Masson.
You can see Jesse kind of giggling, like because he's seeing all the stuff we're saying towards Matt. So he's getting like a little. But
Justin's distracted. Like Marty's talking about God knows what, and then
Marty wasn't there that week. Remember?
I don't know. I just forget it. Just the story. Justin's distracted. He's not even talking. He's not even, and you can see him like look up to like to get back into the conversation. You can see like the wheels start turn back. Like, okay, I'm paying attention. Yeah. And then he goes back to being angry at us on the side. It was so good. I want to say, that was a lot of fun for me and you to do, and people should do that when they. If you guys enjoy listening to a podcast live, if there's a few Nintendo podcasts like the Shack does it, Nintendo Dads still do it. And Fluxapose is doing it live. Jump on with a friend on a Skype call and do your own like. Podcast reacts. I swear to God, man, that was so because like everybody knows like Nintendo Dads isn't very good anymore, but like Bobby,
see, this is what you do.
Bobby and I had a great time listening to it, because we were
such a mess, man.
You gonna cut that part out for me, buddy?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
You should do. I was just kidding.
It's gonna be the bumper at the start of the show. You know who else is doing a video game podcast?
Who's that?
A friend of ours, Mark Caravan's back in the saddle. I don't know if you saw that.
With Todd Oxtra?
Todd Oxtra. Mm-hmm. They basically take that little segment they did, and they're blasting it out to be a full show now.
Oh, I didn't see that. I knew about the segment. I didn't know that they were doing a whole show. Get out of here.
Yeah, they're doing co-op mode, Secret Friendship Night.
What?
Yeah, man. I saw that this week.
Oh, that's killer, man. That's awesome.
Pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited for them.
I dig it a lot.
Yeah, I like both of those guys. Those guys are really good people. Mm-hmm. Sean doesn't like either of you. Just give it a minute here. He'll start throwing backhand compliments in a couple minutes here. But I love you guys both. I'm just gonna tell you. I just think you guys are phenomenal. I just, I love.
Actually slaying me right now. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I'd like to kiss Todd right on the top of his bald head.
Hey, no, I said that first. I give him a nice hug from behind.
No. You can't be stealing my
hips.
It's all what, after you punch him in the face? I got you.
Well, like, wouldn't hurt him. Wouldn't hurt him.
Oh, boy. So
his son would probably block it and
we're like 20 minutes in now, I think.
Good thing we got 3 topics this week, Bobby.
We got a couple topics. But, all right, so if we ran Nintendo, what would be the perfect way to say goodbye to Reggie on Monday? Because Monday is his final day. And, I mean, I feel like the announcement of him walking away, it was really heartfelt. It was very touching. But I just think that, like, man, I would do something else.
Yeah, man.
I feel like he's been there long enough. He's been a massive personality for Nintendo. I would probably I mean, this is the idea that I got, and I don't know. I'll just throw it out there, and then you can just chime in.
Yeah.
But I would probably do something like a live stream. People are all pointing at it and going like,
that's
"Oh,
nice.
they're going to do like a Nintendo Direct," but I think they should do a live stream where they basically do like maybe have like a little cake or like a party in the room, and just give him the opportunity during that live stream to say goodbye to the fans, and just thank them or whatever he wants to say. Tell him to F off for attacking him all the time because he didn't have Metroid or something.
Big time.
But whatever, what I mean? Like, just give him like 10, 15 minutes to kind of just say what he wants to say. Maybe have a couple people say some nice things about him, and then just shut it down. Like, maybe have like a half an hour stream, something like that. Like, because I feel like it's sad to think that like we're never going to see this guy again. And that bothers me. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, that really bothers me to think like Miyamoto has kind of retired years ago, but he's still around.
Yeah.
And you still see him all the time. Like, and I don't want to say he retired
officially.
Yeah,
Ubisoft conferences.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you don't see him as much as you did before. He's not actually officially making games. He's not directing games. He's kind of tinkering all over the place and doing different things. But he's not, you get what I'm saying.
I know what you mean.
But I feel like it's sad to think that like we'll never see Reggie again, and I don't like that feeling. So I would just like some way for him to say goodbye on some capacity, even if they brought like Jeff Keighley in to do it, man. Because
even if I'll take that, I'll even take Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, just bring Jeff Keighley in and be like, Reggie, we're going to say goodbye to you properly or something. Because I think he would do something really cool, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I was wavering back and forth. I kind of like the way that you're putting this because I was thinking about giving him like one last announcement. But I waver back and forth. Like, even before I even say this, I just want to be clear that I'm not entirely sure about this. But I thought it would be kind of cool if he was able to be the one to announce like his last act is to introduce the Nintendo Switch Pro or whatever the next like couple of iterations are. I can't decide if like that would be a proper send off or if that would be better for like Doug Bowser to do. If that would be a better like first action as new person or last action as old person. Like maybe it would be cool to say like this is, or maybe even that's like an official like passing of the torch. Like within the same announcement, it could be both of them. Say like I wanted to be here as one last chance and let Doug Bowser tell you guys what the next unit for the next console is from Nintendo.
What I would love for him to be able to do, if you're going to do the announcement thing, one of two things: either announce Metroid Prime Trilogy, or Mother 3.
Like those are the things that kind of like haunted him the whole time.
Yeah, those are the two games that have really haunted him for the past probably.
Oh, that's a good call, 5-6 man.
Years. So
he should have been doing this closer to E3. Like, this is the wrong time. He should have had one last E3. It would have been really cool for them to like be back on stage, and for him to be there because like we've all been wanting him to get back on there ever since My Body Is Ready, man. Like we need that. We need that weirdness back. We're never gonna. That's really the sad part. Is we're never gonna get that back.
That's and the thing of it is I don't. For me, I don't necessarily care about the stage. I just hate the idea of the quirkiness, the goofiness of Reggie will be sorely missed.
I feel like even Damon Baker kind of had that a little bit. Like he kind of had like this childish charm to him that you kind of liked. Yeah. It wasn't quite the same, like it wasn't, but like he didn't really get a chance to really like settle in. I don't think he'd kind of develop that side of his personality, but I don't think anybody like that was maybe the closest that we were going to get.
Yeah. But I also think that when you grand scheme of things, when you think about it, Reggie was the one that opened that door. Him and Iwata, I think, opened that door quite a bit. And it wasn't, it was one of those things where presidents prior to that were very stiff, very business-oriented. The only time you heard from them was when they were making announcements and doing things like that, where Reggie would come out and, like Reggie went to Nintendo World Store or Nintendo New York, whatever you want to call it. And, like, there is a video, and I talked about it, when I talked about Reggie announcing he was leaving, there's a video of Reggie the night before the Wii U launches, and he's walking down the line, and he gets to the front of the line, and he's asking people, what games do you want on the Wii U? And people are just shouting answers out.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that sticks out to me like a sore thumb is somebody says, I want Fatal Frame. And he was like, Fatal Frame? Okay. And Fatal Frame came to the Wii U. And it's like, I bet you Reggie sat there and like just watched that back and was like, we need to try to get all these games these people announced on the Wii U. And because that's such an obscure game, like where does that come from? You know what I mean? So I like that you know, he listened to people the best that he could, and I know that he combated a lot of, you know, he had a lot of stuff up against Japan, where Japan kind of, you know, dictates things, and he had to kind of weed through the mire and go like, okay, we're going to try this, we're going to try that, and so you know, he's going to be sorely missed, I think.
I agree. Well, it's funny, like for Nintendo fans, it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
But like the core Nintendo fans, like the geeks like us, there's a lot of people who own Nintendo stuff that don't even know that he's a thing or that he's leaving or any of this stuff. But man, it would just be so great if they made like 1,000 Switches, like with a "My body's ready" or some sort of like memeable quote on the back of it, like a special edition Switch, or even an amiibo. Like what that could start like a line of like super only for the hardcore. You have like your Miyamotos, your Iwatas, like immortalize like our Nintendo heroes in amiibo format.
Because do you remember when like E3s would happen and you would get these Mii's showing up at your house?
Right.
Like, or showing up at your 3DS. And like, dude, if they were to turn those Mii's into amiibo,
oh, that's a good idea,
dude. I'd be all in, man, because it's very easy to go, okay,
oh, that's a good idea.
Here's a Reggie, you scan him in, and then Reggie's statistics goes into your Smash. Like that would be so amazing, man.
That's true, because because as soon as I said I was thinking amiibo, but I'm like, how do I get this back into Smash? But yeah, the Mii fighters.
Yeah, the Mii fighters. So at least that they be usable. So
this
there's
is
your
legit,
usable thing.
man. We've got a couple like, you know, most of these episodes are absolute trash. Like this show, like it's been better. You know what I mean? Like this show really sucks.
So what are you taking shots at this show now?
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Like, see, turning on us now.
You know what else sucked? Like We the Gamercast, Brutal Show.
Nobody else. You have nobody else to attack. So you're gonna attack us now?
Yeah, whatever. You know, this is pretty good though. Okay, Nintendo, come on, man. If they do anything less than this, they clearly didn't care about them.
Yeah, that's the part that makes me. That's the part that makes me sad a little bit, because I say to myself, like, man, if they just kind of let him walk, does that mean they really don't give a damn? And
it might be what he wants to.
It could be too. It could be where he's just like, hey, man, I said my goodbye and I'm good to go.
And the other thing too, like, I want to say this for every young person out there who's got a career ahead of themselves. This is what we should all be striving towards. You have a goal, you've got a strong mission, you've got a crazy challenge up ahead of you. You buckle down, you put your head down, and you get the work done. And then you leave when the job is done. Yeah. You leave when you're back on top. Man, that guy stuck through that company through thick and thin. Back on the Switch, it's the #1 selling console on the planet. Bye. I'm good. Yeah, I did my thing.
He went with the Wii U. Back with the Wii.
Back up again, man. I swear that is
back up with the Switch, and
that's how you finish a life in a professional career, and you can look back on it with like the most pride. That's what we should all be striving towards, man. I'm quite taken by this move by him. I think it's
that's
really
like Jackie T kind of did the same thing.
Totally.
The PS3 was kind of floundering, and then he comes up with the PS4, takes it off, and then he's like, okay, see you later.
Yep,
I'm out. Okay, so next topic we have, if we ran Nintendo, with GameStop officially, at least you see it a lot in the media right now, struggling financially. There's talks about selling.
Ever.
What's that?
They had their biggest loss ever, like $600 million loss in a quarter or something like that. Like just crazy, man.
I don't know how. They're like hemorrhaging money, and I don't understand it. But every time, we'll get into it.
If I lost 600 dimes, I'd be pissed.
So with GameStop struggling financially, with Toys R Us out of business, what would we do in the future in regards to selling hardware via brick and mortar stores, or what other concepts? Like, what's the next mission? Where do we go with brick and mortar stores starting to fall apart? Like, what do? What's the game plan? Because right now you have Walmart,
Yep.
you have Target,
Yep.
and you have Best Buy, and that's pretty much what you have in terms of brick and mortar.
Get back into those grocery kind of mixture stores, those drug stores. That's where you. Where did you get your NES at Sears?
Sears,
Go back in,
but Sears
is probably gone too.
Sears is going out of business. Sears is done.
Yeah.
They're all closing.
Well, focus in Canada, Nintendo, because we still got EB Games, we still got Toys R Us, we still got Best Buy, we still got all these places, man. It's still okay. That's joking aside.
Yeah, I would. For me, this is the thing, but this is where this all comes for me, and I feel like you need to, as a company, start shipping stuff yourself.
Yeah.
And getting it out there, and just, hey, we're gonna self publish, self push, self deliver all these consoles ourselves, and just do that. And I mean, you still have Best Buy, you still have Walmart, you still have Target, and I feel like those stores are going to be around for a very long time. I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. But at the same time, Target is very wishy-washy, where they're ready to push stuff out the door and move to the next thing very quickly. They don't let things stick very long. If they're not moving very quickly, they want them out and they want the next thing in.
Yeah.
I.e. Labo. Like, Labo really wasn't selling that well. They dropped them down to $20 each, gone, and they blew them out, and they're not carrying Labo anymore. So, and I think it's kind of like reminiscent to Amiibo, where they started to carry Amiibo, and then boom, they backed out. Which, real quickly, by the way, side note, Animal Crossing Amiibo have been showing up at GameStops like crazy. So I'm wondering if this is kind of the prelude to that game getting announced.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
Because why else would they be putting Animal Crossing Amiibo back in stores?
That's the thing, and we're going to see how critical it is to align Amiibo launch with the game. Because I feel like no matter what, those we are going to get new Amiibo with the next game, and I feel like they're going to be amazing, dude. I feel like people are going to be going crazy for them. Bobby, Smart Man once said that if you want something done right, you do it yourself.
Yeah,
you have your Apple stores, you have your Microsoft stores, and then you have your Nintendo stores. And I actually can't believe they haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Where and not only just having like this Nintendo experience that they can control, like that's the whole thing. Whenever a new console, whenever Labo is out, like all these things happen, and they get demos in these stores. It's such a critical part of their marketing. And with every store kind of falling off the face of the earth, they got to make sure that there still is that chance for people to experience these things in a retail setting. So open up your own line of stores, dude. And the other thing that I would say about this is you could have exclusives like to that store. People go nuts about these Amiibo exclusives, and if you don't have to feel bad about giving like one exclusive to like GameStop and then one to Walmart just to like make everybody feel better, you give yourself the best exclusives, and then that drives everybody to get into your store and just kind of return everybody to driving to a retail store. You have your Nintendo World store. I feel like they don't do enough for that store, to be honest with you. I feel like that's the proof of concept that's kind of not really elevating anything.
No, because the thing is they did just announce a second store, well, a third store officially. Because there is Japan. There is one in Washington State in the Nintendo office buildings, but only employees can access that store.
Well, yeah, like.
And then the other one is that they just announced in Japan, which will be in the Universal Studios, and I'm sure they'll have it in Florida, in Miami, in Orlando.
These are like gift shops. You know what I mean? Like
they're gigantic gift shops, essentially. But for me, dude, the way I look at it is they should start branching out. They should look at it and go like, okay, next one, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Chicago, Miami, Texas. Like, start to branch out and move them around, and then slowly. You don't have to go crazy. They don't have to be like Apple stores.
I agree.
Where they're all over the place, but they could be the size of Apple stores, where you go in and you have some games set up, and you have some stations for people to play the games and try them out, and then make it kind of chill. Like when you go on Apple, you walk in there and that place amazes me, man. Every time I go in, I'm like, how the hell do they know my name or who I am? Like, all I do is go up, I sign up into a thing. Next thing I know, 5 minutes, some guy that wasn't even looking at me comes walking up and is like, hey, man, can I help you?
That's
weird.
the thing. The thing about that store is, yeah, the technology drives a better customer service experience than you've ever before. Even the buying experience is fun.
Yeah.
You're like, please
No
just take my
register.
money.
Yeah.
They also know it speaks to that audience where like my mom and dad, like grandmas and grandpas around the world are getting their iPads. Like they need help. Their kids don't pick up the phones to help them with this stuff, so they go to the Apple store. Like it's dedicated. It's like this tech support and also a way for you to try things out for the first time. Like it's fun. It's stuff that you've never seen before, and I feel like Nintendo has already copied off of Apple or vice versa for so long. Like why not just add this to the repertoire?
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree, and I think you could.
But maybe the time is past. Like I'm a two minds. I'm sorry to interrupt, but like when you had like the other pillars, when you had a 3DS and a Switch, like maybe that made more sense, or even 3DS and Wii U. Although the Wii U wasn't doing so great, it's just when you walk into an Apple store, like their product line is so broad. You got your phones and your iPads and your watches and God knows what else in there.
Computers.
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, exactly. So everything Apple. I'm not sure that Nintendo has the same breadth, but maybe they just don't need as big a store.
But here's what you think about. Because now, I mean, last time I was in an Apple store, they had everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have headsets. They have Blue Yeti mics, Snowball mics. They have all these microphones in there that you can buy. They have all these cases, all this stuff. So you start having it turn into like a
streamer
store.
or a YouTuber. You can
you're selling Elgato stuff. You're selling monitors, maybe televisions. Like these are the best televisions for the best performance for your Switch. This is what you need if you want to stream it. This is what here's your microphone. Here's your whatever you need. It is. But you also could put PowerA in there with all the Pro controllers. You could put PDP. You could put Hori in there. So you could have all these different third-party accessory companies in there. They could have extra docks. You could have everything in there. So then people could see it, they could, touch it, they could feel it, they could be like, okay, this is kind of cool. And maybe you have them out where you could be like, hey, man, this dock has work. Oh, look, here you go, boom, boom, boom. Just there's some different things that they could do.
And you could do midnight launches there, too, where you wouldn't normally have midnight launches. Like, maybe some games aren't, like, not every game is freaking Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild. But, I mean, you could do, like, Animal Crossing probably would get a midnight release, like a GameStop. Would you say? Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something like maybe just a little bit lesser than. Like Pokemon obviously would have it, but some of the
think about it,
like I don't know if
Fire
Metroid
Warriors
necessarily. Fire, yeah, totally.
Yeah, Fire Emblem probably wouldn't get a midnight launch.
Fire Emblem's a good example.
So yeah, you do a midnight launch. I remember when Bayonetta 2 launched. They did something special at Nintendo New York where they brought in a cosplayer. A professional cosplayer to dress up like Bayonetta.
Nice.
But it was actually like 18 years or older. You couldn't be underage to get in there. It was just, they made an event out of it. And that's a game that, like you say, like that's not a game that would get a midnight launch anywhere. But they treated it kind of special because they realized that, like, hey, this game needs a little push and whatever. So, dude, they could do all kinds of stuff. Man, they could just make it pretty awesome, and I think that they definitely need to do something in terms of they need to lead the charge to the brick and mortar stores. And man, if it starts to get to the point where you're growing and you're growing and you're growing, then you just get it to the point like, hey, we're the only place that sells them. Like Apple just recently, like the past couple of years, started branching out to Best Buy and stuff, but you can only get them at Best Buy. That's it. Like you can't go into a Walmart and buy an Apple computer. You can't go into Target and buy an Apple computer or anything like that.
Even when you go into a Best Buy, it's like dedicated. Like this is like Apple, so it's like you walk over this imaginary line and now you're in an Apple store. Like they furnish the place. It's totally different.
Yes, definitely. So I think that if you leaned on it and you did this stuff, you could definitely turn it around.
It just makes you wonder, man. Like, I remember thinking like, back when I would sell TVs at Future Shop, which is Canadian Best Buy, I was like, man, nobody would ever buy a TV online because you have to see it. You have to like look at that screen to really like experience the TV and the sound system that you want to buy. And fast forward not even 10 years, dude. Future Shop is out of business. Now it is just Best Buy here. Yeah. People are buying TVs. They don't care. They look at a couple like specs on the thing and they go, well, that's $400, so I'll buy that. So it's really... it's so interesting because as much as I truly believe in, and I would love Nintendo to like take the destiny and put it in their own hands. They like retail. Just there's not a lot of faith there, man. Like I just don't know what role that plays in the future, which is really interesting. And I go one step further to think like, is it even a box that people are buying anymore? Like where does Nintendo? I don't know if this is where you really want to go with this topic, but like where does Nintendo go? Maybe not the next gen, but the gen after that. Like, are we still buying a console? And then we really don't need retail.
You know what's crazy? This is what blows me away. If you think back, I would say 2 months ago, Nintendo president Furukawa made a comment about, Nintendo doesn't necessarily have to be a console. Like we're not a console company, and we're software and all that stuff. And like people lost their minds. Like, what's he talking about? And then Google comes out with Stadia, and it's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. And
it just goes to show you, like, this is where Nintendo is mindset-wise. And sometimes when they open the door and let you peek in, people aren't prepared to wrap their heads around where this company is going.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing about Nintendo that I've always felt is pretty awesome about them, is they're always trying to innovate and take that step further and push the buttons and see how far they can get away and push and go with things. So for me, I kind of find this interesting to hear him make comments like this, watch the internet explode, thinking that Nintendo's talking about going third party, and that's not even what they're talking about. They're just talking about like, hey man, there's going to be a time in the future where consoles aren't even a thing. Like we're probably just going to sell you a controller and you plug into a TV. You know what I mean? Like or whatever, you hook to a TV and that's what it is. No, I agree. I don't.
Well, as much as I think that probably is the future, and I'm trying to think about like where does Nintendo land in that way, and I'm like, I just feel like if Nintendo isn't in the future of video games, if they somehow fail, and if people really do grasp onto this this streaming service, there's no console future, then I'm actually like not even just saying this to be dramatic. Like I'm actually worried about the future of video games because the young people, they're like, I feel like Nintendo is the constant that always will be there to have people. It'll be baby's first video game. Mario and the entire Mushroom Kingdom is there to welcome people into video games. It's irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Nobody has yet to do it. People have had decades now, like between Sony, Microsoft, and all the other newcomers, they've had decades to try and replace that role, and they have not done it. And I'm just a little worried about like Nintendo not being there. And then like people, I just feel like then video games kind of dries up. Because then like old farts like us grow up and we're like, remember the good old days, and kids don't grow up with that same experience. They don't have that first video game to play in the same way, in the same magnitude that Nintendo has had. I'm not saying that there aren't games for kids. No. There's a lot of Lego games out there. There's a lot of whatever. They can remake Spyro for the next 25 years. But Nintendo has done this for decades, and they've engendered generations of video game lovers.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, too, is you think about it, like today kids are phone gaming first, and that wasn't the way it was when you and I were kids.
But that doesn't make lifelong gamers, is my point.
No, but well, I mean, I think it pushes them to a different direction. It starts like when kids are playing Minecraft on their phone or Fortnite on their phone, it's like they're gamers, they're playing hardcore games, they're just not playing on a console.
Yeah.
And I think it leads them to PC game, if anything, and it pushes them in a different direction, or it makes them leapfrog Nintendo at sometimes. And I think that's why you see Nintendo starting to push more heavily on mobile. It's because they recognize that, like, we need to get there first. We need to be there in their face at an early point.
Yeah, I guess it is a little early to say that. I guess I'm really I'm hypothesizing on that. I feel like the phone, like just the nature of the way that you play it, you pick it up and you dispose it. Like you don't really you never really commit. Like you'd be lucky if you spend like $1 on it and you're like, ooh, that's a big purchase. Then of course there's the whales, but that's not really what I'm talking about. I just feel like proportionally people pick up phone games and they'll throw it away without really even thinking about it, and I feel like there's not enough gravity there to pull people in and keep them there for a long time. They're meant to like keep your attention and take the money out of you and extract as much money as they can in that moment, but not long term, man. I just can't imagine, and maybe this is a world I don't even want to live in anymore either, is where everybody's like, oh my God, I played all my time on Candy Crush.
Well, I think what I'm getting at is a little different to where you're at. And what I mean is I feel like that's the first step for kids. Kids start out on the phones. And
I understand
it's their
that.
gateway drug, where when you and I were
But to
kids,
what, though?
No, I know, and that's what I'm saying. It's not Nintendo typically. It's PlayStation, Xbox, PC.
Maybe. Yeah.
And I think that's why Nintendo started to shift and go more mobile, because they want to be in there and they want to get people to go like, hey, come over here and play this. But, you know, I remember hearing an interview maybe from Shuhei, and he was saying like Sony needs Nintendo.
Yes,
around.
that's what I mean. That's exactly what I'm referencing by bringing this up.
Yeah, because he's, in his words, basically what he was saying was we need them because those are the ones that are getting kids gaming, and we get the handoff and we take them into adulthood.
And that's what I mean. Like it's getting them gaming in the way that the other players need them to be gaming. My argument isn't, and I shouldn't make fun of mobile gaming as much as I am. I'm not like Candy Crush. You guys play Candy Crush. I don't care.
Yeah.
My point is that it's the same type of games. Like I feel like it's too big of a jump to go from a mobile experience to Sekiro or Devil May Cry. Like these big games that we all appreciate. Why did I just bring up two games that weren't even Nintendo? But anyways, maybe even Golf Story.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's a different path. Is all I'm saying.
Now you mentioned Sekiro real quick, and man, that's catching all kinds of heat right now.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I'm on the right side of this argument, but I'm getting a lot of heat for my stance on it.
I'm real curious. What's your side?
Well, I don't even think that I'm really being too harsh about it. But my thing is, I feel like some games can find an audience by having an easy mode. For the people who are being very loud about it right now, they want an easy mode. Games can very easily find an audience by putting an easy mode in there. And games can also find an audience by being different, by not having an easy mode. So I feel like my aversion is that the internet mob dictates something that takes over the entire industry, any industry. And if you don't do that, then you are something that you're not trying to be. Like you're being not empathetic. You're a monster. You're like, that's not. To me, that's a bit of a jump. I feel like people are looking to call people out on that.
I'm with you on it, because when I went, like, that's not a game for me, and I recognize that.
It's not a game for me either.
But I look at it and I go like, but neither's Bloodborne and neither's Dark Souls and stuff. And
here's my thing, Bobby. Give me a hard mode for Yoshi.
Yeah.
Because that game is, because I don't like that easy mode. I don't like playing it. Yeah. Give me a hard mode. Make that game balls hard for me.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell am I to say that?
Yeah, exactly. My thing is this. You're asking artists to change their vision. You know what I mean? Like, would you walk up to Picasso as he's painting a painting and go, no, that's not how it's supposed to look. You need to put trees here and this and that. No, you let the artist take the vision that's in their mind and push it out. And if they feel like it needs to be a hard game, then leave them alone. Go play something else. Like, not everything has to be,
for everyone,
inclusive to everybody. Like, it's just, I think that's the part of the problem where we live right now, where everybody feels like we have to include everybody, or we're being evil or just wrong and whatever. And it's like, no, like, if you don't like a game because it's too hard, don't play the game.
I brought it up on the Xbox Drive. I feel like that this is the wrong game to be hinging this argument on. I feel like there are other games that we shouldn't be talking about the hardest game on the planet right now to circle this argument around. We should also be celebrating the way that games have been more inclusive on the accessibility side, which is very different than difficulty side. But on the accessibility side, about color blindness and people who have hearing trouble and all the we're getting better on that front as well. And that's where I go like, yes, maybe that is something that every game should have for like people who have like. It's just there's steps here, and I think people are looking for kind of like a swooping solution, and the first thing that comes to their mind is like, you must do this, and if you don't, then holy crap, you're a monster. And I just get a little bit upset. And the other thing that I would say, and I mentioned this to Luke on the Xbox Drive, is Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, these are all games that were born out of the era of games where tutorials were too much, hand-holding was too much. We've been complaining about games being too easy for so long.
Yep.
Then we get these games, and guess why? Because they stood out. They're popular because they were so different. They were so unexpected. And if you take that ability away for gamers, game makers, and developers to make their game stand out in whatever way that is, then like I think that's a little too much.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm definitely with you. I was curious because, you know, I've been seeing it pop up in a couple of Facebook groups this week, and I'm seeing both sides of the spectrum.
But I obviously want
like,
people to play games. I want people who can't like.
But Sean, there's not every game is for every person.
I know. Well, I'm gonna leave the difficulty conversation for a second and talk a little bit on the accessibility side. I want people who are restrained in their mobility or in their mobile functions to be able to hold a controller or whatever it is, however they're interacting with the game. I want them to be able to do that. Yeah, that is like. I don't want that. I don't want people to like.
I want to shift back to the difficulty thing for a minute.
Okay.
Because people want to sit here and be so happy that Cuphead's coming to Switch. Guess what, Nintendo fans? This don't have Yoshi Kirby baby mode in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is going to be balls hard. And it looks like a cutesy game, and it's not. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's
even
the same
Donkey
thing.
Kong did that too, and like I don't know if this breaks my argument, but with the Funky Kong mode, like Donkey Kong was yet another side scrolling platformer on Nintendo, and what did it do to set itself apart from all the Marios and the Yoshis? Like there's varying levels of difficulty in the side scrolling platforms on Nintendo. Like Mario's kind of your catch-all, Donkey Kong was your balls hard, and Yoshi is your baby mode. Like you had different games, but I don't know, man. It's just.
But you know the accomplishment I felt when I beat Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and I was like, oh my god, I finally did this. This game was so hard, and I did it. And it's like, dude, it's such a moment that, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't know.
Yeah,
each your own, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that is all. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of If We Ran Nintendo. Be sure to check out everything that Mr. Sean Capri does over on the interwebs. Twitter at Sean Connery. Yeah, Sean Connery.
I know. We take a week off and we're broken.
Sean, like Connery, Capri, like the pants. You can follow me at Nintendo Gurus. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
Bye. Goodbye and play some video game. What the hell does Toby say?
Who knows? It's the dumbest thing in the world.
Play some video games.
Such a moron. That's the one I get to pick on.
Toby.